Openings here in Ohio, but business was far from usual. Check out these lines at the BMV.
If they have a shutdown again, y'all need to stay open and make appointments like the banks did.
Targeting Ohio's hotspots, Governor DeWine's plan of attack to stop the spread of COVID-19 at nursing homes.
Summer activities, the CDC outlines what puts you at highest risk.
Big Dipper, the Cavs players who made a waitress's day.
What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to What's New here at 5 o'clock. Romney Smith is joining me once again this evening, and it does look like our scorcher continues, Romney. I know that you like this weather.
I have been in heaven. I am happier than a pig in mud right now, and if I wasn't at work, I would be outside.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. It's a little toasty out there, though. I know the AC is cranking, so it's about 62 below zero here in the studio. I'm not quite sure how it is 30 feet to my south in the newsroom, but of course, we have to bring in somebody else to this conversation, and that would be the one and only Jason Fraser, who's keeping an eye on the thermometers across Northeast Ohio for us. Jason, how hot is it?
Hey, you know what? I think you can blame Romney and I because you know why? We're filling in this week, we're helping out, and then look what happens. We're breaking records all across the way. So if you like warmer weather, sorry. So we reached 90 degrees today over in Mansfield, and that broke a record. And as we take a look at the maps right now, you'll notice that we do have a few 90s in around Northeast Ohio. It is still 92 degrees over in Akron as well as Norwalk, 89 in Mansfield as well as Ashland, 77 here in downtown Cleveland. Reason why it's a little bit cooler over along the lakeshore is because we are getting that lake breeze. And when you factor in the dew points, it's still very humid out there. Dew points measure of the moisture that's in the air. When the temperatures are above 60 degrees with those dew points, that's when it starts to feel humid. When it's 70, that's when it feels very, very sweaty along your skin. Doppler radar right now, the good news is despite all of the moisture that's still in the atmosphere, we're not seeing any storms whatsoever pop up on the radar. So that is a good thing. So over the next couple of hours, we are going to see temperatures slowly decline, but the majority of us will hit a low temperature in the upper 60s. So coming up for you in a little bit, I'm going to have much more on how long these temperatures are going to last. And Betsy, we do have some sweater weather ahead. Yeah, don't put away the winter gear just yet.
Nope,
Sorry.
It is Northeast Ohio. We get it. All right, thanks a lot, Jason. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Well, we're going to start your feed at 5 with what's new in Ohio's battle with coronavirus. Today, the state reported 529 new cases, bringing the running total to 33,006. The overall trend shows that new case numbers remain pretty steady. The biggest hotspots are nursing homes. This afternoon, Governor Mike DeWine introduced a new plan to step up testing inside those facilities.
The National Guard will be doing the swabbing. Advanced work for this will be a combination of the local health department, our Medicaid and health departments at the state level will be involved as well.
And the governor also urged Ohioans not to view wearing masks as a political issue, saying rather it's about protecting each other. Romney?
It was a big day for openings in Ohio. Miniature golf, bowling alleys, the BMV, and gyms open today. We have team coverage of the changes being made to try to keep everyone healthy, starting with our Tiffany Tarpley.
From group fitness classes to weight training and everything in between, some gyms decided to open their doors again. At Orange Theory Fitness in Rocky River and Fitness 19 in Cleveland, you'll see instructors and staff required to wear masks, but members don't have to. Cleaning, already a priority, is now happening more frequently. Equipment is being blocked off or spread out to ensure social distancing, and class sizes cut in half.
Our team is so happy to be back. The smile on our members' faces when they walk through the door has been amazing for all of us. I've cried a couple times today already.
You do the same thing that you usually do, keep clean, wash your hands, and, be respectful of other people's personal space. And then I'm sure everybody will be okay. Be no different than being at Target and whatnot.
And as you can see, the cleaning here continues. For Orange Theory Fitness, it was really all about the preparation, that time put in before the opening to make sure that everything went smoothly today. And also what opened today, the BMV, but not without problems. Brandon Simmons picks up the story from here.
The Bureau of Motor Vehicles normally services 1 million customers each month, but they've been closed since March, making it a natural hotspot today as they reopened. People lined up for service at locations throughout the state. Some spent hours in line for things like new license plate registration and ID services. One young lady says she arrived around 10 a.m. and didn't leave until almost 1 o'clock. She didn't mind the wait, but others were clearly frustrated.
I knew it was going to be pretty bad, but it was manageable.
This stuff is all messed up. This is a cutie mess.
To make matters worse, the online scheduling tool was down for most of the day, overwhelmed by 250,000 requests first thing this morning. BMVs were still operational even without that tool being active, servicing 3,500 customers per hour. Now, State Registrar Charlie Norman doesn't recommend going to a BMV if you don't have to. You can complete a lot of services online. And remember, expired licenses, registration, and temporary tags are all extended until 90 days after the coronavirus emergency ends, so you still have time. I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
I feel so sorry for the folks who work at the BMV. They get beat on quite a bit by people normally, but I can only imagine that they had some real lip service today.
Hopefully it went faster and smoother if everyone had the documents that they needed, because we all know that can be a headache in the first place.
Back of the line. That's where I end up every time. Nope, you didn't sign this correctly. Go to the back of the line.
There you go.
Okay. Patience, woosah. All right. Well, with more things reopening, including bars and restaurants, we wanted to find out when a big part of the nightlife scene would return, and we are talking about live music. And a big part of the nightlife, of course, those live music venues, which have been slow to come back to life so far. The Music Box, a club in the Flats with 2 stages, plans to reopen next month, but there will be some changes.
We have invented a new concert series called Tabled for Two, and it is exactly what it says. You know, the state guidelines require 6-foot spacing. Well, for these concerts, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go with 12-foot spacing between tables. I feel that we've got to get going with music here again as part of this whole pandemic. You know, music is just one of those eternal joys in life. And so, yes, smaller crowds, but we can do it safely.
Now, the club plans to cut the number of tickets sold to each show by half and require bands and acts to downsize. That's going to help with social distancing. A sign that folks are eager for live music. The club co-owner says they have already sold 100 tickets for the annual Father's Day brunch that features Beatles cover band. I got to tell you, Romney, people are not allowed to go out on the dance floor. Dance floors are closed, but that doesn't mean you can't dance in your seat.
But you know what?
I think that's part of the social distancing, too.
It feels like summer. We had warm weather starting this weekend. We had grills all dusting off yesterday, and now live music. It's starting to feel good to me. I like it.
It is.
All right, time now for a look at the rest of today's headlines. Joining us now is Russ Mitchell. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can we go back to Betsy dancing for another 45 or 50 seconds? That was interesting, to say the least. You're not going to say anything, Romney. I get a very smart woman. You are. All right. Here's what is happening today. There is promising news as a U.S. company says it may have a proven vaccine for coronavirus ready by the end of the year. Trial tests for Novavax are already underway in Australia, where they're injecting dozens of human volunteers to test the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. The company says if all goes well, it could manufacture at least 100 million doses this year and another 1 billion next year. It was a violent holiday weekend in Cleveland. Police say 9 shootings and 3 stabbings took place Sunday and Monday. By the end of last night, 3 had been killed. Coming up at 6, we'll take a closer look at why violence could be on the rise here in Ohio. And the New York Stock Exchange is back in business, reopening its trading floor today after being closed for 2 months. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo rang the opening bell this morning. There are new social distancing rules in place and fewer traders are on the floor. Overall, the Dow had a pretty good day, closing up 530 points. And that is all for now, Romney. I'd see you at 5:30.
All right. Thank you so much, Russ.
And just saying, I heard that, Russ Mitchell. You're so busted.
All right.
Well, here's some good news to tell you about. It's a great story. Cavs center Andre Drummond paying it forward in a big way. Big guy, he's paying it forward in a big way. According to an Instagram post from a Florida restaurant, Drummond left a $1,000 tip on a $164 bill over the weekend. Now, if you're trying to do the math, that's just a little bit more than the good old 20%er. It's a 600% tip. And it's not the first time he's been generous during the pandemic. In April, the two-time NBA All-Star donated $160,000 for relief efforts.
Wow, going hard on the court and in his personal life. I
love it when they step up. I think that's, part of their job as athletes, and role models. When they do that, people pay attention, and it comes back around to help them out later.
And hopefully other people are inspired to give big tips too.
Right, exactly. A lot of our servers deserve it, certainly. Well, next for us, we're going to go out of this world. How tomorrow's anticipated and historical NASA astronaut launch is expected to bring everyone together.
But now let's check in with Stephanie with a preview of what's clicking today.
Well, ladies, no Cedar Point is not open yet, but the renovations do continue, and we have a first look for you at the brand new French Quarter Confections, and it's looking pretty sweet, I must say. Now, Jason, give us more good news about this amazing weather we're having.
Hey there, Stephanie. Well, it was an absolutely marvelous day across Northeast Ohio, and we are going to see yet another round of some warmer weather. So when are we finally going to cool down? I'll let you know when What's New comes right back.
Virgin Orbit, Richard Branson's rocket company, had a mishap trying to launch this week. They flew a modified 747 named Cosmic Girl over the Pacific Ocean, but an issue occurred after the rocket detached from the plane. Virgin hasn't released specific details about the problem, but right now the company is trying to build a business of launching small satellites into orbit.
Well, new for American space travel, tomorrow marks an historic day. For the first time since 1981, a brand new spacecraft will take American astronauts to outer space, and it's launching from U.S. soil for the first time in nearly a decade. But as NBC's Jay Gray tells us, this time it's unlike any launch before.
Secured next to Pad 39A and along the edge of history, the Crew Dragon flight capsule atop the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket sits idle for now at Kennedy Space Center.
Everything is looking good. We are, as of right now, we are go for launch.
After a static fire test and final walkthrough for the astronauts.
You know, where there's a will, there's a way, and there's been will to make this happen, and we're just proud to be a part of it.
Part of the first man launched from U.S. soil with American astronauts in an American spacecraft in almost 9 years.
This is a unique opportunity to bring all of America together.
Together, during a time when much of the country has been kept apart. COVID-19 has had an impact on the mission. Half of the SpaceX engineers working from home, the astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, testing repeatedly for the virus and in isolation since March.
We have been in quarantine probably longer than any other space crew has ever been in the history of the space program.
Waiting for their chance at history that now could be less than a day away. President Trump is scheduled to be here tomorrow, and if the flight goes off as planned, he will join Presidents Nixon and Clinton as the only sitting presidents to witness a manned launch on site. Jay Gray, NBC News, Kennedy Space Center.
Well, unlike countless launches from Kennedy Space Center in the past, this one won't have the usual crowds of onlookers on property. NASA and SpaceX are asking people do not travel to Cape Canaveral to watch the historic launch. It will be streamed live online for those who would like to watch it. I'm going to be watching it for sure. But Romney, I can tell you there will be people hitting the beaches north and south of Cape Canaveral, from Fort Lauderdale to Jacksonville, because you can see the rocket launches that far away. It is so spectacular.
Absolutely. And he said something interesting, that they've been quarantined longer than anyone. And I thought, that's true.
Yeah,
Interesting.
They don't want to take any kind of viruses or yuckies up there into space. No,
I hear it.
No medical services, obviously.
Well, hey, speaking of space, you know, people may want to go outside and just stare at the sky because it's been really nice, not only during the day with the nice weather, but at nighttime too. Hey, Jason.
Hey there, Romney, and hello there, Betsy, and hi there, everybody. Yeah, it has been an absolutely glorious couple of days if you are like me and Romney and you thoroughly enjoy warm weather. Now, if you are one of the few people that enjoy some cooler weather, well, I have some good news for you as well coming up in just a little bit. But because it's going to continue to be very warm outside, I just want to give you a quick reminder about what to do in an effort to stay healthy during this time. So you should be avoiding caffeine as well as alcohol. I know it is the coronavirus pandemic, and I know everybody wants to take a little swig of something, but you might want to just bear back on some of those alcoholic drinks during that time. That's going to reduce dehydration. Stay in the shade, stay in the AC, and don't forget about the pets as well. I know a number of people tend to take a bit more time with their pets, and just be careful and watch what's happening with them. As always, I'd love to see how you are enjoying the weather. You can tag me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Jason Fraser TV. So let's talk about these temperatures. Over in Mansfield today, you guys hit a high of about 90 degrees, and that was a record. We're still seeing temperatures that are still very mild for this time of year. 92 over in Akron, 85 in Medina. It is a bit cooler here in downtown Cleveland, checking in at 76 degrees. The dew points right now are well into the 60s for the western half of Northeast Ohio. What that basically means is it's still feeling very humid. You East Siders, including Ravenna, are starting to see the dew points go down just a little bit, so it is feeling a bit more comfortable out there. Doppler radar, as you can see, for the most part, despite the cloud cover, we're not seeing any precipitation across Northeast Ohio. The precip, though, is to our south, and what's happening is all of that moisture, all that Gulf moisture is being pushed on the land. So right across not only Mississippi, Alabama, but also into Tennessee and Kentucky and the south portion of Ohio. Now, the reason why it has been very warm has all to do with the jet stream. As you can see right there, there is a big hill over northeast Ohio. What's going to happen over the next couple of days is we're going to see the jet stream retreat northward, and that means we are going to end up seeing some cooler air across our area. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. By dinner time, many of us will see temperatures retreating to the lower end of the 80s and the upper 70s. Overnight, we'll see temperatures dipping down to the middle to upper 60s. And you'll notice that there will be a little bit of cloud cover, but we're not expecting any rain showers. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll see temperatures warming back up into the low to middle 80s. Along the lakeshore, though, things will continue to be a little bit cooler, and that is, again, because of that land breeze. Can't rule out the possibility of a quick rain shower also moving across our area. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So a high for tomorrow in the mid-80s, and then Thursday, we start to cool things down just a little bit, low 80s, and then by Friday, we're in the upper 70s. And look what happens this weekend. Well, we welcome back in the 60s, and that's why I'd said during the break, don't put away the winter outfits just yet. It is going to be sweater weather for Sunday morning, and then you'll notice, Romney, temperatures slowly start to improve. Long range, though, we are going to bounce back into the 80s.
That's all that matters. Just a little bit of cold and then right back up in the summertime. Thanks, Jason. Well, tonight is a pretty big day for NBC Primetime. A brand new season of America's Got Talent premieres. And this season, actress Sofia Vergara joins as the newest judge. 9 days, though, into production, COVID-19 interrupted everything, shutting down the main production. So it's going to be a wild ride to see how they kind of adapt, like when The Voice had to make some pretty big changes to their show. America's Got Talent starts tonight at 8 right here on Channel 3. And right after America's Got Talent at 10, it's the premiere of an all-new season of World of Dance, which I love. The wildly popular show returns as Judge Jennifer Lopez's star is continuing to burn as bright as ever. So what's new? Here's NBC's Raphael Seth with more.
Season 4, let's get it going. What we doing?
Here we go.
Get ready for another high-energy season on World of Dance.
Oh.
We've got a generator issue. That temporary power outage isn't the only surprise in store this year. The judges are getting involved earlier in the audition process, sitting in on performances before the contestants even reach the World of Dance stage.
You never really got to see the journey of these dancers, why they came to World of Dance, what they're doing here, what their motivation is.
The thrill of being so close to certain celebrities extends to the cast as well. Executive producer Jennifer Lopez had a busy offseason, receiving a Golden Globe nomination for the movie Hustlers and performing at the Super Bowl.
The first day of filming, I was like a little starstruck from Jennifer, you know, because she's just at the Super Bowl. I was watching Hustlers on the plane.
Overcoming the nerves of unexpectedly meeting a dance idol is part of the process.
They have to earn their right to get onto this stage, and they have to get through us to do that.
And will result in a vote of yes, no, or possibly a callback.
Callback means that we like what you're doing, we're just not completely sure.
From there, competitors in 2 divisions will leave it all on the floor for the duels, semifinals, and a chance at the $1 million grand prize.
Dance is a universal language. Anybody and everybody can move joyously.
Especially when there's a snack bar.
Snack attack, let's go.
For emergencies.
Cookies.
Raphael Seth, NBC News.
Next, how Cleveland Browns legend Joe Thomas fared in prime time on The Rock Show, the Titan Games last night.
Hello. Okay.
Well, it's time now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. I got 3 sentences going on at the same time in my head, and that never goes very well for me. Stephanie Haney joins us now. She's still at home, too. And Stephanie, last night, I couldn't help but notice Joe Thomas lit up Northeast Ohio's Twitterverse. And I have to say, I had no idea what was going on. So can you fill us in a little bit on that?
He certainly did, Betsy. Yes, I will tell you all about it. So recently retired Cleveland Browns great Joe Thomas was handpicked by DeWine "The Rock" Johnson himself to be a part of this season's The Titan Games. Here's what he said about getting back to competing.
In fact, I miss waking up every day and pushing myself to the limit and seeing how I stack up against my fellow man. And so being able to be on the Titan Games was an opportunity to test myself, push myself to the limit, and get into that competitive sphere again like I was when I was in the NFL.
Obviously, he's still in great shape, easily dominating the Mount Olympus Challenge. Look at all of these wild stunts that he is just completely dominating and beating out fellow Ohioan, by the way, Deputy Sheriff Stephen Shelby from Delaware, to stay in the game. So you can watch Joe continue on next week on Monday. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Channel 3. Now, as we know, Cedar Point is not open yet, but thanks to the internet, we do have a first look at the brand new French Quarter confections. Cedar Point tweeted a link to their blog today, which had photos of the new setup. And this is what used to be the Bayou Refreshments Eatery, but it's been totally revamped. It's got a faux balcony there, and then there's space in the back for tables and umbrellas, which are still on the way. Now, this used to be a walk-up snack area, but now you can wait and be served indoors. There are 2 sides to choose from. You can go to the left or go to the right when you come in, and there are so many waffle makers there, and waffles are just one of the many things that you can get at this new location. Betsy, you can get giant and mini funnel cakes, you can get donuts, ice cream, fresh fudge. I mean, I told you that it was looking pretty sweet, and I was not kidding. Now, all I want to do is have a massive funnel cake. I cannot wait for this to open.
I think it's cute that you said giant and mini funnel cakes. Is there really such thing as a mini? Why go, if you're going to do it, go all in, suck it up,
Absolutely.
Eat the giant funnel cake. It's the way it goes.
We don't need to be messing around with these mini funnel cakes.
What's the point? Come on, live a little. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Can't wait to get back to Cedar Point. Hopefully they're going to get things rolling over there pretty soon. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Well, coming up at 5:30, Risky Cleveland. The CDC weighs in on just how risky some of your favorite summer activities can be during this coronavirus. And there's trouble in paradise for an actress from Bay Village and her real-life Riverdale co-star. And that's a little bit about their romance. And later, it's National Redhead Day. So our resident ginger, Mike Polk, has some important facts about redheads.
I got you. 1, 2, 3. How we sounded? Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is Mike. This is my voice. This is what my voice sounds like. All right, sound good? Sure. This is it right here. Sorry, I missed the go. I went early. Good? Here I am. Okay. Yeah, I'm all right. I'll take it.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, thanks for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Betsy Kling in the newsroom. I'm in the studio. Romney Smith is in the
There you
newsroom. I can see the newsroom.
We're twins, that's all,
My
Betsy. It's okay.
desk is in the newsroom, but I get to go into different rooms because I guess I'm special.
Because you're the chief. That's why. You're the chief.
Well, I guess, yeah, there's that too, certainly. But boy, I'll tell you what, it's hot outside. We are dealing with that heat here, tucked in the AC, and certainly things are good. And I know a lot of folks are going, all right, feels like summer. Let's talk summer now. And of course, when you have coronavirus to talk about, well, there's summer and coronavirus, and the two don't always seem like they're going to gel together. But let's go over the things that you can do. Let's assess risk, because that's what this is all about, really. And there's three things that we're going to talk about. First one, a BYOB, backyard gathering. Yes, bring your own beverage, backyard gathering. Well, that's considered a low to medium risk. The biggest things to keep in mind, you need to still wear a mask because you are sitting nearby people. And remember, this is for outdoor gatherings, but you want to make sure you don't share food and drink. It's all about that exposure, right? And of course, we have to tell you, don't drink too much alcohol. There's actually two reasons for that. One, it makes people do dumb things, as there are several people that know. And I'm not laughing, but Rob here in the studio sure is laughing. And Russ Mitchell is even giggling a little bit. But anywho, it also eventually means you're going to have to use the bathroom. Going inside will up your risk. All right, second one, eating indoors at a restaurant. This is considered medium to high risk. Hi, Russ. Told you were giggling. Medium to high risk. There it is. All right. Now, you may be thinking, okay, indoor restaurant, and I think we should just leave it on Russ. This is the most fantastic, uncomfortable moment of television today. That's called karma, Russ Mitchell. That's from the dancing comment earlier. All right, anywho, now we're back in the restaurant. Here we go. We're talking about the exposures, right? And inside, you have a prolonged exposure risk because you are inside. So that's considered medium to high. Outdoor seating, obviously the best recommendation over indoor, but being Northeast Ohio, we can't always do that. All right, third thing, spending the day at the beach or a pool. This is considered low risk. This is a very good thing, but we all have to play by the rules, okay? The sheer volume of the water will dilute the virus. There's also that wonderful substance called chlorine, which is a very love-hate relationship. It's hate because you stink and it burns your eyes, but the love part is that it kills the coronavirus. And it's all about maintaining that 6 feet of safe social distance once you get back out of the pool. So, Romney, it's all about just making sure you maintain distance.
And about maintaining distance, Betsy, if you're itching to leave your home, and let's be honest, a lot of us are, here are some drivable destinations from Cleveland and how to safely book them. So home vacation rental group VRBO first suggests Hocking Hills in Logan, Ohio. It's home to cute cabin rentals. It's only a 3-hour drive away, and it reopens to the public on June 15th. It also fits into trends rental groups are seeing of quiet destinations in wooded or beachy areas.
But you feel like you're in another world. And it's not just people in Ohio who have discovered Hocking Hills. It was on Vrbo's top destinations in its annual trend report. And so I expect it to get even more popular now that people are really seeking that getaway that's not too far from home.
Okay, now if you want to get out of the state, but you know you don't want to travel too far, for that, Erie, Pennsylvania is the recommendation. It's just 2 hours from Cleveland and boasts beautiful beaches and really cute cottages to get away from the stress that we're all kind of experiencing right now.
Erie, PA has a variety of cute places to stay. You've got the lake, you've got woodsy getaways. So really you can choose the accommodation that you're looking for.
Now, here are 2 tips to remember if you're booking right now. First up, with so much uncertainty on things closing and reopening, make sure you remember that rental owners set their own cancellation policies, so you need to read those carefully. Second up, don't book a trip based off of the local attractions. Again, with all this uncertainty, focus on the actual destination because we're not sure what activities will be open or closed when you're actually there. Now, some of your other suggestions we have online in your favorite wineries and parks. Keep in mind, some are, some aren't open. So focus on the outdoors and the beach, not so much going inside to shop or restaurants.
I mean, who doesn't want to come back from vacation and say, hey, everybody, we went to Erie, Pennsylvania. I know. I know.
Someone out there loves it. So
it actually is a very beautiful place. And I would also recommend Sandusky, Huron, Vermilion. There's so many wonderful cottages
all these
all along.
suggestions
Oh, yeah,
up.
it's all good.
All
Amish
right.
country, Mansfield, Ontario, Shelby. Get out in the
Email
country
me.
a little
Lots of
bit.
places to check out.
I got a lot. Make sure you take some wipes, too. Wipe off doorknobs, light switches, and
Very good
remote
advice.
controls in all of the rentals and hotel rooms, too. All right, Romney, thanks for that. Yes, he's still sitting there. Russ Mitchell is back.
It's okay now? Is that okay?
It is, actually. That might actually be my favorite moment of the entire show today.
Well, I do what I can, Betsy. Thanks a lot.
Do you have some headlines to tell us about,
I
please?
do. Here's what is happening today. The World Health Organization has temporarily suspended their clinical trials of the drug hydroxychloroquine as a possible treatment for coronavirus. This after several studies found a higher death rate among the patients given the drug. Just a few days ago, President Trump said he had finished taking a two-week regimen of the drug to avoid coronavirus. New information on this confrontation in New York Central Park that is getting a lot of attention worldwide. In this video, a woman is caught on camera calling the police on an African-American man who was in the park bird watching, claiming she and her dog were being harassed.
Please don't come close to me. Please take your phone off. Please don't come close to me. Please call the cops. I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
The man says all he told the woman was to make sure her dog was on a leash. The woman later apologized, and today we learned that she has been fired from her job at an investment company. And a Trumbull County car manufacturer is showing off its newest production. Lordstown Motors just released pictures of its brand new electric pickup truck. It is called Endurance. Pretty slick. The company says it's a pickup that drives like a sports car, and it is all electric. So it's good to see that stuff is now coming out of that plant. We were wondering about that. That's excellent.
All right. Thank you, Russ.
See ya.
We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
You will.
All right. Well, it's time now for your daily dose of entertainment news with something brand new from the author of Harry Potter. Which Cleveland native is breaking up with her Hollywood boyfriend, and why J-Lo says she's heartbroken. Stephanie Haney has it all in Pop Break.
J.K. Rowling is giving the world more of her incredible writing, announcing on Twitter that she wrote a standalone fairy tale called The Ichabod over a decade ago, and now it's free to anyone who wants to read it. And the best part is she's looking for illustrators. Rowling told fans to post drawings using hashtag The Ichabod, and the best art will be featured in the book, which she plans to publish in November. The first few chapters are live right now at jkrowling.com, so get your pencils ready and go check it out. Cleveland native Lily Reinhart and longtime boyfriend Cole Sprouse have called it quits again. The Riverdale co-stars briefly broke up last year before getting back together, only to end things again once and for all, according to Page 6. A source at the time of the last breakup said their relationship is always up and down. Guess it's on a downturn now. We were rooting for you guys. And J-Lo is letting us know how she feels about having to delay her wedding with A-Rod. The singer, dancer, and TV host video chatted with Hoda Kotb, whose wedding is also on hold, on the Today Show this morning.
I'm a little heartbroken because we did have some great plans, but I'm also like, you know what? God has a bigger plan, and so we just have to wait and see. Maybe it's going to be better. I have to believe that it will be.
For J-Lo, it does seem like good things come to those who wait. Case in point, she and A-Rod first met in 2005 when they were both married to other people, and they didn't start dating for another 12 years. So what's a few more months or so, really? And now we have more time to figure out how to get on that guest list. The wedding was originally planned for late summer, but J-Lo and A-Rod thought it would be safest and smartest to wait. And I have to say, I really like J-Lo's outlook here that when we don't get what we want, it's usually for a good reason that we just can't see at the time, Betsy. And I believe the universe does have a way of working itself out. So I'm sure when they do have their wedding, it will be incredible no matter when it is.
What, they waited 12 years to get together? So I love that line. You know, what's another few months? They're fine. All right.
Right.
Thanks, Stephanie. Romney?
The new surge to the economy and how families at home are the driving force behind it. And Jason, let's talk about this.
Well, hopefully you have been enjoying all of the warm, humid air because in the 7-day forecast, we have some sweater weather. Yep, it's going to cool down. I'll let you know when, coming up after the break.
If you bought a new puzzle, game, or other toy lately, parents, know that you're not alone. There are parts of the retail side of things that are absolutely booming right now. As NBC's Liz McLaughlin shows us, much of that is fueled by families.
Despite the downturn of American retail in recent months, families hunkered down at home, splurged to stay entertained.
The U.S. toy industry, according to NPD, saw a 22% spike in April.
Can I get some juice? Driven by demand for family-friendly toys such as craft kits, puzzles, and board games.
That's so much money.
Hasbro, which saw an overall loss this quarter, said its game sales surged more than 40%.
We're seeing it across every category, from preschool gaming to kids gaming, adult gaming, family gaming.
Now families are grappling with canceled sports and summer programs and turning to their backyards to stay active and busy. Sales of outdoor toys, pools, and playground equipment is up 51% over the same period last year, according to MPD Group.
Skateboards and scooters and backyard fun.
Though some categories are up, sales of traditional toys like dolls are down. This month, Mattel reported a 14% drop in sales.
Without kids accompanying their parents to the store on these trips, you eliminate a little bit of what's always been called like the nag factor.
Part of a buying shift that led to an overall loss for big toy makers this quarter. But the industry expects to bounce back.
We still expect to have a good holiday season and a good second half of the year.
In the meantime, American families seem to be prioritizing the toys they can play with together. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
And those classic games have been getting updated for new audiences. Remember the game Trouble? Well, now there's Double Trouble. And Risk has a new edition called Risk Europe. There's even a special edition Rubik's Cube now celebrating its 40th anniversary. I just wish, Betsy, that there was a new Monopoly because my family gets really intense with our real estate games. So I'm waiting on that.
Look out. Does Jason know about this?
Yeah, we can't play together because I become very territorial.
Okay. Be fun in your household every morning, I'm sure.
It is.
Very much. Speaking of, and I only bring him into the conversation, of course, because he can hear it. We would never have a one-sided conversation here. No, not us.
Oh no, she becomes real competitive. And then, we got to learn how to say, okay, let's take a time out.
That's
okay,
right.
Still love you, but let's take a time out.
I'm serious about my games.
How long have you guys been married now?
3 months.
3 months.
It's only 3 months.
How's that going for you? All right, we better start talking weather. How about that weather, Jason? Because it's getting a little warm in here,
How
too.
about that weather, Betsy? Well, we set a record down in Mansfield today. So I know that you guys are very happy as far as the temperature goes. Over in Akron, they tied a record. And here in Cleveland, well, we came within 1 degree of getting tied to the record. As we take a look right now at the maps right now, still very mild out there. We're talking about 92 in Akron, 90 degrees over in Mansfield. Dew points right now are still overall around 60 to about 61 degrees. I bring that up because anytime you have dew points that are about 60 or above, it feels very humid out there. If you're in the 50s, it starts to feel a little bit better against the skin there. Doppler radar, as you can see right now, despite just a few cumulus clouds popping up across the region, we're not seeing any precipitation. A much wider view, though, as you head down south, that's when you start to see all of that Gulf moisture that's being pushed across much of the south and even across parts of our state. But in our neck of the woods, though, we're not going to likely end up seeing any rain showers. And part of the reason why we are continuing to see all of this very warm air push across our region is because we have a ridge in the jet stream. But you'll notice there that ridge is going to move eastward, and that's going to allow much colder air to push across our region. So if you have any sweaters that you've been thinking about putting away, do not put them away just yet. National Design on hour by hour forecast, you'll notice that temperatures are still very mild. Right around 8 o'clock tonight, we'll see the upper 70s. And then overnight, we'll see temperatures dipping down to the mid to upper 60s and partly sunny skies. And by tomorrow afternoon, many of you will see temperatures rebounding back into the middle 80s. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So mid 80s for tomorrow, 82 by Thursday. And then I talked about that cooler weather. That's going to likely settle in here throughout the weekend. And we'll see a high temperature on Saturday of about 68 degrees, 65 for Sunday. And Betsy, the good news is we'll finally rebound this time next week. A couple of models, as we were looking at before the broadcast, basically saying that we will likely end up rebounding into the 80s. So a temporary relief.
Right. Well, here we go into June, and then comes July and August. So we are certainly on the upswing, and our days are still getting longer, which is just the best news of all. So appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.
Time to give a senior shout out to Adeline McCoy today. She's graduating from Ashtabula Senior High School. She's a part of the soccer team, marching band, show choir, and regular choir. Adeline will go to Mercyhurst University in the fall. Remember, you can send us your senior shout out at our website, wkyc.com/senior shoutouts.
Well, next up, celebrating World Redhead Day is only Mike Polk. Yes, he's our resident redhead, as only he can. You won't want to miss that. And later, this is cool. It's a wish come true. How one amazing young lady got the surprise of her life today.
They'll be here in 2 months. You know what's a good spot?
Yes, I can hear you. Check, check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are here inside of Orange Theory Fitness in Rocky River. There might be, it says our level is low. Said that's as high as it goes on her camera. Is it more than, it's just one up? Yeah. Check, check, 1.
Welcome back. I love talking about hair. And in case you didn't know, today is World Redhead Day.
And among our favorite redheads is our good pally, Mike Polk, who is going to give us an inside look into what makes all of our friends with shades of auburn, strawberry, and copper hair so darn special.
Howdy, folks. Well, today is World Redhead Day. Not to be confused with National Redhead Day, which takes place on November 5th, or National Kiss a Ginger Day, which takes place on January 12th and was almost definitely invented by some red-haired creep who wanted people to kiss him. Obviously, all of these ginger-themed holidays hold a special place in my heart, as I've been a practicing redhead for as long as I can remember now. Oh, sure, much like my heart, my hair has darkened a bit over time, but make no mistake, I still proudly identify as a ginger American. And so, in honor of this hallowed occasion, I'd like to share with you some remarkable ginger facts. Ginger facts! We are literally mutants. Both parents must be carriers of the mutated MC1R gene to be able to produce redhead offspring, which means that each and every one of us is technically an evolutionary aberration. The most hurtful thing about this, of course, is that it means that all of those times my grade school bullies called me a freak, they were actually being scientifically accurate. But I ended up getting on TV, so who's laughing now, Brian Downing? Ginger facts! Redheads are rare. We make up less than 2% of the world's population. That's approximately 140 million redheads, which would not be a terrible band name. Ginger facts! We are harder to knock out. A study found that redheads required 19% more anesthesia to be put to sleep than subjects with dark hair. My theory is that we redheads developed this resistance to sleep as children at sleepovers because we knew that the bullies were just waiting for us to let our guards down. Nice try, Brian Downing. Not tonight! Ginger fact! We are more likely to be left-handed. Although, as can be observed by this slow-motion footage of me trying to throw a ball with my largely ornamental left hand, this trait is not shared by the entire demographic. Ginger fact! Redhead prejudice is not new. In Egypt, redheads were buried alive as sacrifices to the god Osiris. Ancient Greeks believed that redheads would turn into vampires after they died. And in 16th and 17th century Europe, many women were burned at the stake as witches merely because they had red hair. But please, tell me about your problems, Blondie. Ginger fact! Bees are more attracted to redheads. Too bad you can't take one to prom. Ginger fact! There have been many famous redheads in history, including Mark Twain, Galileo, Florence Nightingale, Malcolm X, Vincent van Gogh, Winston Churchill, and George Washington. That's right, the founder of your country was a fellow Carrot Top. So if you're some redheaded kid watching this right now, the next time someone at school gives you a hard time for your hair, just inform them that if it wasn't for a ginger, we'd all probably still be British right now, talking all fancy and spelling our words slightly differently, and tell him that the lunch money that he just stole from you is covered in gingers. Stay proud, my fellow redheads. Stay proud and out of the sun. This is Mike Polk for 3 News.
Michael, you are just so fantastic at this. So are you obviously lubed up with plenty of sunscreen, I'm assuming, right now?
Hey, just because you're a ginger doesn't mean you shouldn't get out in the sun and enjoy it. You know what I mean? You can't be, you can't be overly cautionary. That's all I'm saying.
I think that is totally true. Now, we need to know a little bit more about Brian Downing since you shouted him out twice.
Don't get me started on that son of a gun. He's actually a good friend of mine. I was the best man in his wedding. If I picked a real bully, I was scared that they would come to my house.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's one of the catch-alls of this TV gig, certainly.
Neither of you've never been mean to a redhead, though, have you, Betsy?
No.
You were too nice for that, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I was. Because my hair was a little bit on edge of red.
Yes. No, I've seen your grade school picture. You had no right to be mean to anyone.
You are such a goober. All right. Happy iced tea drinking out there. Stay cool, my friend. Good to see you.
Happy Ginger Day. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Mike. All right, next up, everybody, it's more than a new coat of paint. Why one special local young lady was treated to a dream bedroom makeover when What's New returns.
Check, check, 1, 2. Here at Orange Theory Fitness, they've actually cut their class sizes in half.
90-second push, followed by a 60-second base recovery this time.
Go.
We're going to close it out right.
Time now for our Worth the Watch, and it takes us to Lake County today.
That's right. That's where a 10-year-old girl who battled leukemia made a wish, and just hours ago it came true. That's right. You're looking at a drive-by parade in Willoughby honoring Ava O'Keefe, who is now in remission. Ava asked Make-A-Wish for a bedroom makeover, and they gave her that. And guess what else they gave her? A parade, just because. We all deserve parades, but nobody more than Ava. Look how excited she is. Isn't she sweet? Her family says today also celebrates another one of their wishes being granted. All the best to you.
That she would make it through her cancer treatments, and that we would have her with us, and we do. So we're celebrating her life.
Check out Ava's redesigned pink and gray room. Woo, that looks like a hotel. She's got flowered wallpaper, a new bed, nice storage space for her dolls, and of course a big, comfy new chair to relax in. The family says Ava now has the best room in the house. That is gorgeous. Congratulations, Ava. Keep fighting, girlfriend.
Thanks for watching
Thanks,
What's
everybody.
New.
Yep, exactly. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and watching What's New.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.